morning. So today I have Melissa with us, who has been in the talent acquisition space with a demonstrated history of working in the tech industry. She is skilled in recruiting technical talent, where she has found amazing talent for wherever she works. Let's welcome Melissa on 10 Minutes of Hiring Wisdom, where she will tell us about why specifically she's interested in hiring tech people, what got into recruiting, and her experience so far. Hi, Melissa. How are you doing today?
Good. I'm great. Thank you.
Of course, Melissa. So, Melissa, can you tell us about where you're currently working, what your role is with the company?
Sure. I'm currently at a startup called Kaleido. So we are in the blockchain enterprise space. And I lead the talent acquisition efforts here. So very
Okay.
young. We're about 3 years old now.
So I think for me, it'd be interesting to know because blockchain is fairly a new field. How do you make sure you find the right talent for your company? Like, what kind of people are you looking for?
Right. Yeah. Well, very carefully. So actually, in the blockchain space, we still use the same skill sets that you would use in your traditional software as a service organization. So, all the front end skills and the back end, and so really just finding the people that have an interest in blockchain. And so that's kind of the most fun part about recruiting for Kaleido is just that everybody has that additional layer of passion to work on a blockchain product. So it's not for everybody. So the people that I do recruit, they just have that extra passion. So it just makes it a little bit more fun, in my
Okay.
opinion.
And how do you find those passionate people? Like, I think a lot of people are like, oh, we're passionate about this. And when you actually interview them, you realize that they don't know anything about it. How do you make sure that you find the right passionate people with the right amount of skills and talent needed for them to join Kaleido?
Yes, yes. Well, so with blockchain, obviously it's such a new technology, and so there aren't a lot of people that have that actual, professional experience. But they are able to communicate to me just their knowledge of, maybe they've looked into Bitcoin, but now they're seeing that actually, or just some sort of, coin, but now they're seeing, oh, the technology behind all of this. This is what's interesting, and then they're checking. They're finding me sometimes, because they're looking for a company that is doing something in blockchain, maybe not with the cryptocurrency aspect of it, but really using the blockchain machine that it can be. And so that just comes across in the conversations. And in recruiting for tech people, they're always looking at the new technologies and those kinds of things. And so, a lot with Kaleido, it's been a lot of people finding me, but also I've been in the area here in Raleigh, North Carolina for a long time. And so, and recruited for other startups. So I have a pretty huge network as well. So that helps me.
Okay, that makes sense. So your process might be simpler because, I mean, at the end of the day, you are more likely to trust people within your network because you can validate that, okay, these people do have the skills. So thank you for sharing that, Melissa. So, Melissa, I'd love to hear because you've been in the talent acquisition space for quite a while. According to you, what makes a person successful when they're applying for jobs?
Yeah. Well, just being able to clearly articulate their experience, being as a recruiter, we see some bad resumes. And so just being very clear on, what their responsibilities were and even, the dates, making sure those kinds of things are correct on your resume. That's your first time I'm seeing you or even knowing about you. So I'm looking for those things, and I'm just trying to ascertain, what have you done in your jobs. So just being able to articulate, the projects you've worked on and kind of what languages you've used and those kinds of things. But being very to the point with it as well. I mean, I don't want to read a 7-page resume. So,
That makes sense. So parsimony is something that's very important because I mean at the end of the day we need to consider that recruiters have a short period of time and they have thousands of applicants. So you don't want to just bore them with 7 pages where you don't even clearly articulate what you're doing in the first place. So I can definitely see why that would be the case, Melissa. And Melissa, you mentioned specifically that articulation of whatever you're doing in that position is something that's very important. Can you maybe specify regarding, I mean, this might be a basic question, but can you specify regarding how you can articulate in a very clear way to ensure that you're getting your message across clearly?
Yeah, well, one thing with candidates is, at different companies, everybody has their acronyms, and so just spelling out what that acronym is, because I'm not going to know ARG, or something like that. And so so if you spell it out, then I'll have a better idea. Especially, if I know anything about the company you're working at, then I'll have a better idea. And actually, I talk to people all the time, so that will help me know what team you're on, because I might know people on that team or have already talked to someone, and I'll have a good idea of what it is, the work that you've been doing. But, tell me how, maybe even break down how much of your time, if you're not in a full time programming role, then breaking down how much of your time is programming versus something else, some sort of project management or something like that. Because in a startup especially, I'm looking for people who can be versatile, and be able to jump from different things. Not that eventually it wouldn't go to 100% programming, but if you have like that program management skill set, or you like talking to customers or something like that, that's helpful for me to know, and that kind of raises you to another level.
So, Melissa, I'd love to hear regarding whether your company is hiring for a certain number of roles, what kind of
Yes,
roles are
yes.
open.
So, we're always adding to our engineering team. So, the majority of the company is engineers right now. So, full stack engineers. So, I've been here almost 3 years. And so, when I first started, we kind of had it split up between front end and back end engineers. But we have found kind of hiring full stack engineers, people who can jump from front end to back end and vice versa, and have an interest in that, seem to bode better for us. So just the team we
So, a lot
have a
of
lot.
tech roles are open.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah,
And
exactly.
are you open to global hiring? Like, how did the pandemic shift the way you hire within your company?
Right. Yeah. So for us, I mean, interesting enough, blockchain is very global, and I have a lot of contacts all over the world now since working here. But as a startup, we're mainly trying to stay here local in the area right now, and we haven't really shifted to going, outside of that. So I'm in the office today. We have our office open, and but usually come in like 2 days a week. So we're more in that hybrid model right now, and that seems to be working for us. I'm sure as we grow, we can look at other ways. But again, because blockchain is so global, we actually have a lot of teammates that are from completely different areas of the world, and their passion for blockchain, because they know it can have an impact on maybe the area that they're from, is really exciting to have too. So
That makes sense. So I
keeping
can
that
definitely see
extra.
why your big network would be useful in this case. And I hope that your company continues to grow and you find amazing talent.
Thank
Well,
you.
Melissa, it was an absolute pleasure having you as a guest, learning about your experience. I will definitely reach out to you if people show interest regarding your company. But other than that, thank you so much for coming on as a guest.
Yes, thank you, Meenal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. It was fun.
It was fun, definitely.